Hey guys! So today I'm recording a video that has been requested by my ex-neighbour Hussein from Giovanni Boutique Suite. So hi Hussein, I hope you're watching and I really hope this video helps you. The video is on like work-life balance and work stresses. So I know a lot of us struggle with this, especially in the life that we live at the moment. It's so fast paced and it's all go and we have lots of priorities, especially in work and outside of work. So I want to focus on how to manage the stress and how to have a better work-life balance. And it might not be what you want to hear, but this is how we can deal and handle the stresses in work life and how to balance it with our life in general. So one of the struggles is when, say, we get a lot of work, so we have a lot of demands, a lot of deadlines to meet, and we feel overwhelmed with those deadlines. And usually what happens is our mind can go into like control and it says, okay, I need to do this by this time and I need to do this, and it puts a lot of pressure on ourselves, which what happens when we do that is it kind of makes our brain very small. So it becomes like a narrow funnel. So instead of allowing the thoughts that we need to problem solve and sort of manage our life better when these stresses come along, our mind, in order to try and protect itself and protect us, it kind of shrinks and gets smaller and it can only see a very tiny bit. So a lot of people tell me, a lot of my clients tell me that when they're stressed and overwhelmed, it's like they're in a wood and like woods and all they can see is the trees and they can't see any light. There's no like gaps of light. And the reason why that is because our brain has gone into what's called flight or flight response or freeze response, and it's trying to only deal with the necessary things. So that can have a really damaging effect also on our body and cause sickness. However, we can manage this. It is very possible and I've learned a very good way. The first one I would suggest whenever this happens, so whenever we start to get overwhelmed with the stresses at work, breathing. So we can breathe. So say for example, you have a notebook like this. So you'll breathe up this side, so you breathe in, hold it for 4, and breathe out. And then you do the same here. So you'll hold it for 4. And already, even just me doing that once, I can feel myself calmed. And then what happens is your brain starts to open up because it's no longer in that fight or flight response. So number 1, do that breathing exercise. If that doesn't work for you, then you can just kind of breathe in, hold for 4, breathe out. You don't have to do it around that, just breathe in and hold for a few seconds and then breathe out, and do it until you feel your mind, it's like your mind opens up and you can start to see clearly. And then from there, we can then access our guidance. So everyone has a guidance of some sort, and that in order to access this guidance, we need to first get into that space where we're not in flight or fight response. So once we've calmed our nervous system with the breathing, then we can access this guidance. But in order to access this guidance, we must have a spiritual connection, and that can be God. But it can also be just someone that's very loving to you, and we picture them or us as a very wise, the wiser, older version of us that knows what's best for us. So whatever that is for you, you picture that So for me, it's God. So I would picture God and I would ask him, or your wiser self, or the most loving person in your life, you would ask that person, that wise person, that the most loving person, what is in my highest good in this moment? So we're not planning in the future, we're focusing on right now. What is in our highest good? So that could be you need to do this task right now, okay? So you do that task, you take the loving action, you do that task. It could be you need to go for a walk right now. It could be you need to have a shower right now. Whatever that loving action is for you, because for all of us it's always going to be different. And we'll know it's a loving action because it will feel right inside. It might not feel good, but it will feel right. And then once we take this loving action, then we go back inside and we say, okay, what is in my highest good right now in this moment? So not the past moment, not the future moment, but in this moment right now. And we take that next step. So this will help us manage our time better, and it will also help us have that work-life balance, because it's what's in our highest good. So it's not what's going to help us be successful or achieve the most, which actually it does that eventually, but that's not the goal. We're focusing on, okay, what's most loving to me right now in this present moment. And it might even be calling a friend. So you might have a lot of work to do. However, in this moment, you call a friend, you feel better, you feel more peaceful. And then the next moment when you ask what's in my highest good, it's to do this work task, get on with this project. And like I said, it's not always going to feel good, because what's in your highest good might be doing something that's quite boring, or, you know, you might think it's going to take a lot of time to do this thing and you're not going to get everything done. But that is when you have thoughts like, I'm not going to get everything done if I take time out to see a friend or do a coffee. That's your wounded self coming in and again trying to have control over the situation. So, as I said before, the first step when we get into this stressed, overwhelmed feeling is to do the breathing. So we breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4. And we just keep doing that breathing until we calm down, until our nervous system calms down to the point where our brain can now access all the information and our guidance, okay? This usually doesn't take a long time. For me, it usually takes a couple of minutes, not very long at all. And then after that, we go to our guidance, like I said, either our God or our wiser self or our higher self, or the person that we think is the most loving and wisest person in our life that we know of. And we ask them, what is in my highest good in this moment? And the key here, the key is to stay in this moment. It's not about the past, it's not about the future, it's about now, about what is in my highest good right now. So these seem like very simple steps, but they are very, very effective. And the more you do them, so each time this feeling comes up and you do these steps, the more your body will get used to going to that place of what's in my highest good right now, rather than trying to control the situation and drive it forward yourself. When we get the guidance from our higher self, from God, from the universe, we can access what is in our highest good in this moment, which is the most effective way to move forward. Because when we're in that stress, sort of panic, overwhelm mode, we tend to get stuck and it doesn't feel good in our body, and then that can have an even negative effect of causing illness, because a lot of people know how stress can cause illness. So I hope these couple of tips helped you, Hussein, especially you. If you have any questions or you want me to do a video on any other topic, please drop a comment below or DM me, and I'd be more than happy to do a video on that topic. Thank you. Bye bye.